Welcome back to the Metro Icon Podcast. And if this is your first time to the show, hey, welcome to the show and thanks for tuning in. And for those who do not know who I am, I'm Shawn Kay the Showman of Do It All Entertainment and DIA Media Solutions to bring you this podcast and Metro Icon Podcast episode with my guy BLJ back on the mic and away from the back scenes because, you know, we have some fun progressions that are happening with the biz. But before we go into that, I want to let you guys know of some upcoming shows. If you're listening to this episode this previous Tuesday or tonight as I'm recording this intro, we have the live podcast Silent Party, first of its kind, not done ever before. We have a live podcast show where we are bringing back Blue Label Johnny's podcast live show On Air Don't Care, and it's going to be happening every third Tuesday of the month. And then while the podcast is happening, there will be a silent party with 3 music channels playing simultaneously. So make sure you guys hopefully came and checked it out this previous Tuesday when this episode gets released. Otherwise, make sure you guys check it out every third Tuesday of the month. And then, of course, next Tuesday, I have my open mic and karaoke sometimes, which will be happening every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. And then the Friday, last Friday of the month, I will be at Library Bar DJing the night from 10 to 2 a.m. And then February 28th, I have a comedy show at Hyenas in Fort Worth with my guy Panda Chacon. So make sure you guys get your tickets because it's going to be a sold-out show. Don't wait to get it at the door. Make sure you guys look up that flyer info that I post on my socials. Pretty much everything that we have coming up as far as events and episodes and all that good stuff. You can follow me at Shawn Kay Do It All on my socials. And make sure you guys are also following the Metro Icon competition on its pages for Instagram and on YouTube. But there's also going to be a DIA Media page coming up on YouTube that's going to be posting the 2 podcast shows, being Metro Icon and On Air Don't Care, starting tonight or the previous Tuesday when you hear this episode. We also want to make sure that you guys are keeping in mind of our sponsors, man. Take advantage of these offers. Get 10% off your next order at insidercloth.com, the last microfiber cloth you will ever need. And then, of course, Teddy Johnson of DK Contracting. Make sure you guys email him at teddyj.dkcontracting@gmail.com. I know that those storms have been coming through and they've probably been putting some tear on them houses. So whatever repair you have, he is great into getting those insurance claims filed and getting you the return result that you need. He will work with you no matter what you got going on. And of course, make sure you guys hit up Do It All Entertainment and DIA Media Solutions, whether it be your next live event or media package, up to $150 off your next contract package. This is a very fun episode. I'm talking to my boy BLJ for the second time. First time I've ever had a person come up twice on this show. But because we are doing On Air Don't Care, we are bringing it back to the waves, and it's going to be the first of our live podcast series. So hopefully you guys check it out and come through to Library Bar if you guys want to be on. But we kind of treat this episode a little like On Air Don't Care, but this is the Metro Icon feature of this On Air Don't Care episode. So turn your speakers up, get tuned in, and get ready. This is my guy, Blue Label Johnny of DIA Media. Little On Air Don't Care for y'all. And we're live.
You could do it all. You can.
Do it all, baby.
That's right. Once again, we are back for the Metro Icon Podcast, y'all. And you might be recognizing this dashing individual from our episode 12, which was probably by far one of my most entertaining conversations I was able to watch back. It was 100, and it's been what went from 72 hours, feels like it's been like 72 weeks that I've known this dude now. And he's back on the show because he's part of a lot of new updates and what's been going on and what we've been talking about and what we're developing and, you know, just going in some shit, because that is the avenue that is going with the extra platforms that are coming through. But I got my guy, BLJ. Blue Label Johnny is back on the show.
What it do, cuz? What it do?
That's right, man. Dude, we doing a lot going into this holiday season. We are recording this Thanksgiving week. So it's a slow week in general. So, you know, when one podcast
slow
plan,
for you.
when
A lot of shit to do this week.
well, then you know what?
More than usual.
Yeah, but are you talking about work wise or family wise?
Look, I do almost little to no family shit other than my children a week, and I got too much other than my children this week. So any kind of family shit for me is too much family for me. I'm not that Malayali. I'm just look. My children. Oh, I spend as much time with my children as I can because they're like my best friends. I love them. I don't know. Like I just don't fit into Malayali culture.
You've hit your when did you hit your Malayali expiration point? When it came to
high school.
Damn, dude.
I mean, like when I graduated high, look, there were certain family members that looked at me like they kind of knew I was going to be a problem. They always knew, like, you know what I'm saying? They had the insight. But for the most part, like, I'm a charming individual. So, like,
I would say so.
Regardless if you're Malayan or not, you will find me charming.
But
I want to be charming.
Yeah.
And in high school, I wanted to be charming.
You know what I think it is, man? And also I have this problem within my family is that I can be very loud. You know what I mean? Like when we're so passionate.
That is a natural part of our volume. Has to do as a culture, like, dude. Everyone in the
but no, like
tells me I'm too loud. I'm like, I'm not even angry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like I have that issue with like my family always being like I'll get excited about something, and so obviously my volume goes up, but then my mom would be like, "Oh, my God, Shawnee,
My mom is loud.
we don't have to be so loud, you know."
Dad is loud. My mother is loud. Dude, there's no way I could not be loud. I mean, every Malayali I know is loud.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I come from a more I have loud in the sense where like we have a lot of talent, you know, and we enjoy ourselves. But as far as strength of our tone, like moderately, they try to stay fairly like quiet to conservative. I mean,
I know your brand or your flavor. Not the. I mean, like.
But your family is loud? Is that what's it?
I mean, like, this is, I mean, my high school friends, my non-Malu high school friends could attest to this. They'd be at my house, just chilling, and, you know, and then mom, pops come in the room, ask me to take the trash out, something mundane. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they would leave, my friends would be like, are you in trouble? Do we gotta, no, man, I just gotta take the trash out. They're like, dude, I thought she was gonna murder you. I was like, oh no, that's cool.
It's strong. Whenever they tell you something, it was strong.
Because if I was in trouble, there would be a U-shaped hole in my wall because you would have ran away from being scared. I was like, no. If you think I'm in trouble, you'll never have to ask. You'll be scared.
Oh, so they were loud even when your like crew was over at the house. Like they didn't care.
Oh, you think?
Oh man, when I was growing up, I would want my family and friends around because I know my parents are not gonna get as mad as when we act. They're like it's one of the things they look at. Just wait until we get home. Just wait until we get home. And then my mom will do the pinch where like she'll touch her fingertips under my skin.
See, we call no.
You know what I mean?
My dad has a name for that. And he calls it cycling.
Cycling?
And so many people now know this through me.
Because I'm going to throw your bike away every time.
No, because when you do this, usually people's reaction is to cycle their legs. Because that's what my dad used to say.
When you get hurt?
When you pinch someone's legs like that, they're like cycling their
motions.
Legs.
So they're like,
because when my dad used to do that to my brother, that's what he would do. And he's like, do you want a cycling?
How old's your brother?
He's 3 years younger than me.
And you are the oldest?
I'm the oldest, yeah.
That's wild, bro. So what does your little brother do?
He does something with computers. Like he has
Man, you don't know? You don't know what your only little brother does for a living, dog?
He did not graduate with a computer science degree. His degree from Sam Houston University was like computers. Like I don't know.
But he never got the degree?
No, he got a degree.
Oh,
He's
okay,
better than
okay.
me in that regard. Like you know what I'm saying? But
You've never gotten a degree.
I never got a degree. But it just says compute. Like his degree is like a degree of computers. I don't know anyone else who has this degree.
Is he a gamer, like a nerd?
He is. He's pretty nerdy in all those
sense,
regards.
yeah,
but
yeah.
like he doesn't do. It's not coding. It's not computer. I mean, like I think he does light work, but it's like he don't got no $200,000 a year job. Like he makes a very average amount of money a year. Like so, it's like he wasted a degree into computers. And here's the thing: is he could easily go and get some certification. Online, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
And
What's your brother's name?
Joji. He got a more.
Joji? I know a few Jojis, bro.
Yeah,
I know that they're definitely not your
Are
brother.
there R's in their name or the Joge?
No, it's like Jogy or
Yeah, see, I never seen anyone with his same spelling. Now
Joge.
Joge, 4 letters. Joge.
So Joj,
Joji.
Joj and E.
So and like literally a close.
It's like almost like just Joj.
pretty much, but then they just like add the
E.
sound E. Like so, a close friend of our families who came to America with my mom, their son, they had a son named Gee, and my house name Jomon, Joe. That's how they. I mean, I don't know if it's for real, but that's how they told us. They came up with his
Jomon
name.
is your real?
No, not a real name. My house, Jomon.
Oh, your Jomon's your
Like
house name.
if I went to Kerala,
Yeah.
like everybody's calling me Jomon. Like you know what I'm saying? They don't call me John in India. They call me Jomon. Mon is not part of my name,
Jomon.
but Mon.
Jomon.
Yes, Joe Mon. That's like my house name. I don't have any
And then
legal
when you-
designation as Joe.
And then one day when you were like 11 years old, they're like, Jomon, you're like, you know what? You can call me Johnny now from now on.
No. My name was always John. Legally, it was always John, but the house name was Joe.
The house name was Joe.
Like my birth certificate says John Thomas. No Joe anywhere to be found. But the
Jomon.
house, but I mean, like my dad's house name was Kunyamon.
So
That's not his
technically you're
name.
closer to a Joseph than you are a John.
I don't understand how that would be.
I don't know. Jomon is like Joseph Mon, right? That's what I would think.
You're thinking too hard on it because Joe is like Joseph. Yeah, I guess Joseph, but Joseph could be, but Joe has also been the short designation for John
Jomon.
as well.
I have a Jomol in my family.
And see, if I was a girl, I would have been Joe.
My uncle married one of my uncle's wife.
This is definitely becoming into
her name is Jomol.
the Mulu
Her name
flavor
is
of this
Jomol.
podcast.
Shout out Jomol on my. She's never gonna watch this. Her kids might.
I'm sure our Mulu count's going to start going up.
We'll see. We'll see, man. And so I think this is private. So like obviously on Metro Icon, we talk about the world of entertainment media and the icons that live in it. This is one that like we've gotten to know, and so now my dude BLJ is now coming on as a media partner for DIA, and on top of that, you are going to be rebirthing your old. Which I have an honor to this because he's bringing me on as a co-host, but your podcast, On Air Don't Care, is coming back.
I spoke on it briefly on episode 12.
Yeah.
But like I didn't get into depth, but like I mean
it's I think it's an emotional piece naturally because of what you had.
Yeah, because it was
with that show
it was literally the love child of me and my friend of 20 plus years. So
Yeah.
Like, it was and we saw, in bursts some success. You know what I mean? Not like we never like made money, but I mean like literally we were flirted with like people wanting us to bring it on to paid platforms and like, but in almost every regard there was some kind of concession that we were like he and I were unwilling to make. Like you know what I'm saying? And like and the whole point of like if you listen to the name, On Air Don't Care. The two of us,
which will just be the number one useless topics of all time.
I mean,
and
like,
we just talk about whatever. But every episode's gonna be live.
And like so when we kind of briefly touched on it off air, he and I, and like I was kind of like, well, I didn't want to like impede on like when I did this podcast, I should have listened to your other ones. because I feel like I fucked up. I feel I fucked up episode 12. That's just my opinion.
I still enjoyed it. I had
I mean,
fun, man.
I'm not saying it's not enjoyable, but then
Yeah.
I've watched other ones since then, and I was like, man, I was bringing too much of On Air Don't Care to your podcast because, like, I was, like, kind of what I'm doing right now. But like, I've watched you, and it's better when you interview and like, this is the thing is because you asked me, I think you
For
should
Metro
come on.
Icon. For Metro
You
Icon.
asked me to come on to Metro Icon, and I kind of,
Yeah.
maybe I'll do that. But after watching you do you, I mean, like, even if I do come, I mean, like, to a part of the recording process, I want to be off camera because
You would be a funny voice in the background.
exactly. I'd
And
be cool.
you're
And even if I have like a
plenty
webcam,
loud enough, yeah.
And even if I have a webcam or whatever, that's cool. But
Yeah.
as long as it's only for peppering and not to be a piece, because what you do is awesome. And then, like, in that way, the focus could be on the person sitting in this chair.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like I guess I could navigate into the personality that is just like you're a very detailed, you're very animated, like you're like a director when you speak, and so you're able to paint that picture, very clearly, right? Which obviously sometimes could deviate from just like whatever questions or interviews and all that. But I feel like I'm developing how to navigate through that either way. Because I feel like we still had good subject piece. So I didn't feel like you were ranting so much. Like, that's why when I listened back to the episode, I just had fun, man. I just enjoyed it. I was just like having,
Before I listened to the other episodes, I was like, dude, this is fucking great. You and I have to, like, but
Yeah.
and I was like,
But
whether
we're
it's
just-
Metro Icon, I was like, bet. But then when I watched the other ones, that's when I had context for what your podcast actually is. And I like it. And like, I mean, like, not to discredit anyone that's
But
been on your show.
we also just naturally love shooting the shit,
Yeah.
and from
And I think that's why
Yeah.
On Air Don't Care is a better format
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Because it can be topical, doesn't have or may not. It like literally it could be you you had a bad week and you want to fucking talk about it. We're gonna talk about it for 30 minutes or whatever it is, and then I'm gonna talk about what I want to, or we're gonna talk about what happened in politics or what happened in
Whatever's happening, whatever's
happening.
current.
And like
Yeah.
it allows us to be our personalities.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be. We don't have to shift focus. From
And a lot of
everybody else.
times it's especially on my part, it's gonna come with
This man gave me
very
broken glass. He's trying to cut
What?
my lip.
Is it really on the chip, on the end?
I mean, it's not like.
To be honest,
Luckily, it's not a piece coming
I'm gonna
off.
be
He's
honest
trying
with
to
you.
Cut my lip.
I gave myself my own glass. This is actually a gift that I got from a good friend of mine before I moved. And if you can see the little frost on there, it says Shawn letter K. See that? It's on the glass. You don't see it?
I'm fine. It's fine.
No. So, but that's my roommate's glass. That's what I was getting to.
Well, he's trying to cut. Somebody's trying to cut my lip.
Is it? It would make sense.
Just let it be known on the.
It would make
podcast.
sense. Teddy's definitely trying to cut the people.
Let it be known somebody in this house is trying to cut my.
So, I think the best part of On Air Don't Care and it being as an organic as it is, it's going to be going to a whole nother level.
Because we're going to be
far
doing
as
it live.
live events, yeah.
So we're
It's
going to be doing a live broadcast. So it's something.
It's a mobile live broadcast versus Metro Icon being a mobile.
cultured content.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
We edit it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Even though I
or
don't
you
edit
get
my
it.
episodes, bro.
But either way, somebody's
audio.
editing. Somebody's editing it before
But
you
it's
get
time for somebody to do it. Because I'm not talking to nobody. Because I'm just trying to get the brass tacks done, and then I got to worry about the details. And I need to,
And
now.
On Air Don't Care is a much more looser format because literally we want the people watching to be a part of it. At some point,
But
like,
we'll be bringing randos on the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
So doing it live events, like so at gigs, and then also throwing on the Do It All silent party system. So it would be at the bar, and there's a silent party happening with live DJs, mix and different genre mixes that are happening. And at the same time, then there's a podcast happening. And so, like, number one spot right now, Library Bar is our top contender. We're going to start this in Fort Worth. And I love Fort Worth.
I already
I
do
love Fort Worth.
Sundays at the library
Yeah,
in Fort Worth on Houston Street.
And I'll be
shameless plug.
And then we are doing an episode with your boy Brian Pibb. We mentioned him in our previous episode, in episode 12.
I didn't know if Brian was going to be on that episode. I may not make it there for that one.
Shut up, bro. You know this dude. Stop playing. Stop playing.
We'll see.
I need you.
If
Know
I'm there, it'll be a
you know you
surprise
got to
for
be
both
there
of us.
because you got a lot of shit on him. I don't know him as well as the few times I've met him at
That's
Two
true.
Brothers, right?
So can I just clown
Oh,
him?
I mean, no, I actually helped him with some mixes because he did an Indian wedding, and that I want to talk about too. So he did an Indian wedding, and I remember I
hate
helped him
Indian
with some
weddings.
music. So that's gonna be a funny conversation. But and then I got some contacts. My boy George Red Speaks is trying to create one with his. So we have now multiple podcast platforms that are going up to
this
stream
umbrella
up.
you forming is really, it's coming together here, champ.
I love it. I mean, this is the whole point. I mean, dude, I've been enjoying this. Like, I think one thing that you can tell from each episode that you've seen, I enjoy doing this.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and that's why, like, I was just off the strength of us. I was all gung ho. Man, yes, I'm want to be a part of this podcast. I'll sit and can't like, but now as soon as I see what you do, I'm like, it almost doesn't need to be fucked with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you're only gonna get better each one you do.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not something I really want to fuck with the equation with.
No,
too much.
I respected it because I was like, I was coming to you as like, why don't you come out as a co-host for Metro Icon? And your first response was literally like, you know what, dude? Let me tell you why I don't think that's a good idea. Because I rewatched that. I watched all your episodes and listened to it, and I understand what you are doing with each episode. That now I'm just gonna be a distraction. I would much rather have this.
Like, as I set up for this, like what I've done before we started this one is what I want to help contribute.
I can't tell you, dude, how much I respected that. Like, real talk, dude, that was like, that is an integrity move. I'm like, yo, hell yeah. And on top of that, he's like, no, but I want to bring you onto mine and bring on our Don't Care. And we do that live because you and I are we're different live, you know,
And
like even
and that's
just in
what
the
I'm
moment.
saying is like the reason why On Air Don't Care was because I mean, like, look, and I don't know how. I can't remember when we started, but it was many years ago, and like, but the very first 5 views, 10 views, you know what I mean, like weeks of this before we started doing it live. We were doing it we were kind of editing it.
Just on the YouTube.
Just on the YouTube and Facebook. We were just
But it's still not on YouTube or
no. It's I mean like
it's still there.
We started going live. We were going live to all like to YouTube, to Facebook, we were doing
Simultaneously. No, okay, that's great.
Yeah. So like but we didn't start like we started very much like this we recorded, started, but then and then in the midst of that is when Facebook Live and stuff was starting to come about, and like he was like we should do it live, and I was like, you know what, like because that's the thing is when we were building Steam, it was like people.
And were you doing it in the same spot too?
For majority of the time, we've changed many times, but week after week would always be in the same.
But it was
spot.
not in any like general public arena type of thing.
No. Like I'm a video guy, so I can I can make anybody's house look like the studio.
Well, that's what we're now, but we're taking somebody's house and we're doing it in business. So like, you're going to have the episodes where you have some background noise, but the fact that we're having it as a silent party, you'll hear the lightest music probably in the background, but that we
probably not even that, not unless someone's with headphones.
I've been shifting. So like before, I think when we did the first one at Library Bar, we still kept it somewhat low. You know what I mean? But I've
been to, there was no ambient sound.
But like this, for tomorrow, I'm gonna do no sound whatsoever, just no sound. They're like come in like, and they're like, oh, is the jukebox working? Nope, that's the jukebox. And one of them is actually a live, and one of the channels is actually a live request channel. So that one is just straight, like you just put your live request and you put it next onto the list, and it'll just blend it right in. That's one of the channels.
That's pretty damn genius.
Yeah. So it's like somebody come in and is like, I have my iPad ready, like available, and they're like, will you play this? I'm like, yeah, it's on this channel. I'm like, go ahead and just put it add to queue, and it'll put it next.
Wow, technology.
Right? This is amazing. It's so amazing. So we're going to be putting up I have my silent party tomorrow at Library Bar.
Now I guess no one's gonna be.
And I have one more. But starting in January.
You do gotta realize no one's gonna
I'm hoping.
hear this before it happens. So,
I think this episode might come in December, so it'll come out before January.
But we're talking about something we're doing tomorrow.
Well, that's just a normal silent party tomorrow. As I'm talking about the current future. As this episode gets released before January.
Oh, got you. Oh, because we're just doing a regular.
Then it will become the silent party will become the On Air Don't Care
recording with Brian tomorrow. See, I'm a
we'll figure out the tab. We'll color code.
We're doing Metro today.
We're gonna color code the color tabs on the Google Calendar.
I'm slow. You gotta do it. I'm slow like a short bus. People.
You went hella logistical, like you stretched yourself.
I'm slow like a short bus. You gotta bear with me.
I mean, slow or short like a short bus.
I'm slow like a short bus. Think about it.
Yeah, I think you're short like a short bus.
That too, but who's on a short bus, champ? Think about it.
Yeah, I know who's on the short bus.
And that's why I'm slow.
I'm just talking about the bus.
Yeah, and that's
you're talking about the people in the bus.
And I'm slow like the people on the short bus, champ.
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't put you as my team.
Look.
No, that's not true. You could have, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. This is my first episode where
of Shawn the Showman are his and if not
hey,
of
you know
On
what?
Air Don't Care, Blue Label Johnny.
Hey, you know what? I came back right here. If somebody whatever somebody that comes up and they might be lacking mentally in whatever certain spectrum areas, but comes with talent.
I appreciate you making me feel included.
I never said that was you though.
I did. I self-identified. Look, let me tell you something. If what has served
spectrum,
me,
like definitely spectrum. I mean, I'm spectrum.
Let me tell you something. What has served me better in life.
Dyslexic though.
It's hilarious
it's
that
spectrum.
It's very funny that I even knew that I was going to say this on this podcast. What has served me best in life has to lower the expectation of the individual and then over-exceed them in ability.
100%.
I've never understood people be like, I got a 10-inch dick.
Yeah.
And you don't. Like,
yep.
I tell chicks, I have a micro penis. I don't brag about the sign of my penis. So anything other than a micro penis is now, bam, on the table.
And who got 2 kids? There we go. 2 air horns.
Look, I've heard.
You still been able to bust that air horn.
Yeah, I can still bust the air horn.
And you pulled out them 2 kids. And they turned out pretty great.
But my point is, I don't brag about having a large penis. I tell a girl,
good for you.
I have a micro penis.
Good for you.
So that when they discover it,
yes,
they're like
pleasantly
surprised that they're not receiving a micro penis. I mean, it's only 4 inches, but micro penis is like 2. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? So, when you hit with that 4.
So that's going beyond even having like a pump game. You got a vibrate game like no other.
A what?
A vibrate game.
A vibrate game?
Yeah, vibrate. Like you vibrate. Like it's not even like a pump. It's just.
Why does everyone do all that?
You vibrate. Because if you have a micro penis, it's like isn't it like that? Like that? Like that?
I guess.
Like that?
More like that.
More like that? Like this?
I got 4 inches. That technically is not a micro penis. A micro penis is like
probably like below average.
2 and 3.
Totally talking about your penis. But he just don't care. Wait, RC, this is where he said. He admitted that this is what he's doing is doing the On Air Don't Care form. So that's just a small preview. We're
not getting vulgar.
No, man. We're just getting honest. I don't mind honest. That I don't mind. But it's just like I feel like it definitely will be. It might be the first penis somebody brought up. As far as the conversation is going, but this is also the part 2 episode. Essentially, this is the update. Buddy. The part 2.
Fuck you too. Buddy.
So sometimes that's how you grab it. Full out.
You gotta sorry.
This is the bowling episode. Sometimes you just have to serve it up, strike it up.
Strike it up. Okay.
That's it. Simply, that's it. Complete. So So yeah, as far as the newly developments of within the podcast, man, I'm excited to go on this journey with you. And let's talk about a little bit. Mentioned it, but I mean, your primary focus right now, besides doing your DJ gigs and stuff like that, I mean, is really your video creative. Your one creative project I've ever said to me is some sort of Game of Thrones spin-off that you clearly did by yourself.
Oh yeah, and I'm doing more of that.
And it was a lot of wonderful green screening. And honestly, man, like the one thing I always give credit as far as like all my video production is the work that goes into post. I understand it. And I don't do a lot of the extensive stuff. There's no way I could. I don't have the patience for it. And so that's why I very much have such a high respect. And one day I would love to talk to my boy Brandon Gassel. This is my shout out to him. I got to get this clip for him so he read it. But my boy, Brand One Films, dude, this kid, he got to the point where I knew where he was going to go. He's like a prodigy. He's only like 24. And he graduated from Columbia. And this kid is now, he got to the point very quickly where like I knew I was not going to be able to hire him no more. I can't. I just can't, you know, aside from just his schedule.
Right.
He don't got free dates. This boy is on it, and he's been all over the world. He got to Asia, getting a gig in Asia and Europe. Like, this boy is all over the damn place, right? And on top of that, this dude, it's his post. He's the fastest ninja I've ever seen. Most of my videos, people were shocked on how fast. He's the only editor I've ever been able to bring on the wedding. One of my friends I did the full production. I've been able to put on my videographers and have a video team with me, and they handle that, right? But he's the only one I was able to put on to do a same-day edit video. And he smashed that. Smashed it. Got it done. He just needed help with the logistics. He needed help with I just made his job easier. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we were just a fantastic team. That's my boy. And so it's like, now the fact I told him, like, yo, didn't I tell you? You're going to get to a point real quick. I won't be able to hire you. Not because of me, because of you. Right. You're going to be so busy. But even then, it's like, that bag, I won't be able to afford it. You know? But I brought a lot of opportunities to him. I kept him fed on his like dead months. And from that, it's just like, now, bro, fly. Like, it's, what else can I have? I'm like, yo, my next goal is to get to a point where I'm making 2 salaries so I can put you on payroll and just have you. And you're on my team. You're recording everything. That's it. But this dude is just so hyper-focused on what he needs to do, especially when you give him a plan. Other than that, dude, he does now like music festivals and all that, and he's great low light and editing with that. But his creative post and how he works with the mode and the music. I mean, he's the one that edited the You Can Do It All video. Actually a few of my music videos and stuff, all my Do It All promo videos and stuff, that was all my boy. Brand One Films.
Ability in post is, as important, if not more important than your ability to, because a good post guy can take bad footage.
And that's what
fix it.
And I've given
you could have a great video
I've
guy
given him that.
and a bad post guy and fuck up everything.
I showed you that block party video, right? The one that I did during COVID, where I did the block party and set up like the screen and all that, right? I had a different videographer, and it was his guy he knew, but I had a different videographer that shot it, and I had to send those clips to Brandon, and Brandon still edited that video within like 24 to 30 hours. I was like, it's like mind blowing. I've never seen anyone that's fed, but like. Yo, shout out to my boy, man, Brand Gassel. I would love to get him on the podcast, man, because it's like he's so honest, and I have such an honest relationship with him. But it's just I've definitely pushed him. I've given, we've had very deep conversations, and so I still have that love and relationship with him. But anyways, going back, it's just because of him. I see, because nobody else was able to work. It's so rare to find that it's like we're like, yo, his value is established now, So. Yeah, man. That boy's killing it, and he's doing it at a much younger age than me. So I can't imagine what he's gonna do when he comes to my age or your age.
Because it took me a long time. I fucked around for a long fucking time, but
when did you get into video? Were you always into video stuff?
I was taking filmmaking shit in college, but I deviated in life, pretty heavy. So like I diverted from where I was. I mean, I dipped my foot into music, I would say, for a long time.
Yeah, I heard some of y'all's tracks.
And like,
Well, you have it on Spotify. I might be able to pull it up and have it run through the audio. Hold up.
But I was also in the streets for a long time, so that kind of but it's all life experience. I'll just call it life experience more than anything else. It was not necessary. I was definitely stupidly doing a lot of the stuff I was doing, but
Yeah, hold on. Where are we at on time? I haven't even.
You live and die that my homie is one of the best rappers ever to touch a microphone. So
Number one. Oh!
knocking lights over.
There we go. See? Moving parts. Love it. Moving parts. What was the name of, hold on,
Red Wine Vibes is the one song that's one song that's in there. We have like 100 songs on Spotify and still plenty to fucking, I'm in the midst of.
I know I saved it. Hold on. Where are we here?
That by consensus is a lot of people's favorite song. It's not my favorite song, but it's by consensus a lot of people's favorite.
Red.
I ripped that one.
What was it? I'm trying to find it right now. I'm trying to pull this out simultaneously. Red Wine Vibes, right?
Yes.
Jazzy Dinner? No, that's not it. What's the name of that was the name of the song.
80 Proof Rider, Red Wine Vibes.
80 Proof. 80 Proof
Rider.
R-I-D.
ER.
On Spotify. Why am I not saying this? Eddie Proof? P-R-O-O-F?
80. P-R-O-O-F.
Eddie 80.
80. 80 Proof.
Oh, so not E-D-D-I-E.
No. 80 Proof. 80.
80 Proof Rider.
80 Proof, like alcohol.
There it is. Found it. That's your boy?
Like the alcohol. And me on the second verse.
80 Proof Rider.
Or the last verse, not the second verse, the last verse.
Red Wine Vibes. Red Wine Vibe.
Red Wine Vibes.
Let's see.
Red Wine Vibes.
Red wine vibes. Sometimes, man, in a good groove, you find yourself complaining and whining to yourself all over the place. And sometimes I like to be all over the place. Run this shit blue label Johnny. Believe again. If you're happy, then be with him. Go ahead, mommy, be with him. Go ahead, mommy, be with him. Go ahead, mommy, be with him. Say it, yeah, you made me believe again. You made me believe again.
I love you, baby.
Now all I want you to do is back it on up like a U-Haul truck. I can tell what it is.
Is it love or lust?
It's beyond the crush. It's adrenaline rush. Been packed in this room. All I see is us. Good groove, no fuss as it flows. It's such red wine kind of vibe. Guess I'm drinking too much. Reaching out to your mind, then I grab.
I know you didn't pay for that sample.
How to treat a man. We can chill, pillow talk, do whatever
What the
you
fuck you
like.
talking about?
When you step out, baby girl, you clean up nice, making love to your mind as we talk on the phone. I explain it to you, ma. I can't be alone. Sweeter than a love song on a notebook movie. Not the quote Austin Powers. The baby girl, you the groove. You see, you made me believe again. If you're happy, then be with him. Go ahead, ma, be with him. I'm lying, here's my plight, be the love of my life. But I'm lying, here's my plight, be the love of my life. Now, back it on up like a U-Haul truck. Red wine kind of vibes with your ass in my club.
I want to sing the hook to I Need a Girl right now so bad.
On my side, ma. The world is mine. We can chill to the top with the red wine vibe. Don't know where I'm going, but you're making me rhyme. Making love to your mind as we talk on the phone. I explain to you, ma, I can't be alone. Making love to your mind as we talk on the phone. I explain to you, ma, I can't be alone. So you made me believe again. If you're happy, then be with him. Go ahead, mommy, be with him. Go ahead, mommy, be with him. Go ahead, mommy, be with him. Red wine vibes as I'm in my zone. 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 Red wine vibes when I'm in my zone. Now it's playing to your mind.
Weed and wine and weed. Add in
Been in a lot of girls and I never seen nothing like you before. I know how it goes. I'm just trying to get chose. You the thorn and the rose, the whole treasure trove. Yeah, you coming with me from the minor to the pro. That pretty red hair and the sweetest Marianne. I dare compare with skin so fair. I'm addicted, so conflicted.
So this is the verse that you want right now.
That's who label Johnny right there, baby.
If you wish, all the way from your lips to your hips. My every command is your very wish. Forever my lady and never a bitch. Forever my lady and never a bitch.
So deep, dude. Forever your lady and never a bitch.
I'm calling my lady. I have never called one of my girls. That's a real.
Yeah,
bar.
you know what?
Once in
I
my
respect
life
that.
Called a woman that was mine.
That was mine that I was with. 100%.
A bitch. Never.
100%.
Never called a woman I was with outside of her name.
Yep.
In
No.
anger or otherwise.
That's absolutely true. I actually 100% believe in that. Like I can say strongly, yes, I've never any girl that I've ever been with, I've never called her a bitch.
A female, oh, probably most definitely more times than I can count. Never a woman I was in a relationship with. Never, not ever, never gonna happen.
It takes a lot, even for me though.
The
like
moment
me personally, it takes a lot for me to call a woman a bitch to her face.
Oh no, it doesn't take me a lot. It would take a lot for me to call a woman I was in. Like the minute a woman could make me that angry, I would no longer want to be in
But
a
not someone that you're with. You're not talking about someone
I mean,
you're
it's
with.
never happened where I broke up with, like, in my mind, bro, and then called. No, I'm saying, like,
have I been with
the
you
entire context
romantically?
In the entire context of a relationship.
Yeah.
Now, post and whatever, sure, maybe, I don't know. But while I have romantic feelings for a woman, never in my life have I ever, like, even felt the inclination to call. It's the furthest thing in me personally. Like, no matter arguing or not, it doesn't pop in my mind to, like, you fucking, like.
Yeah.
It's just not.
I feel that. I see it in the same respect of, like, to just in general women in your life, right? If you respect every woman, especially.
No, because I have enough respect for
I'm saying from, like, my mother, my sister. She's got 3 girls. Like, I have.
Yeah, I mean, like, family kind of, like, and that's my whole point is, like, there's in that circle of love. Yeah, it's like it takes a lot to just bust out just any kind of profanity in that latent direction. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just because someone's a woman, no, everybody's a green light. Like, I don't believe, I'm not a misogynist. You know what I'm saying? Male, female, y'all all equal to my eyes. So if I don't have a love for you, motherfucker, you all can get it, okay?
Oh, man, speaking of which, man, we just kind of talked, remember, because we did the gig at Two Brothers and our boy Tim.
Case in point.
Yeah. And that man responded, very, I guess way more calculated. I mean, in shock, but then I guess way more calculated. But it's and I'm curious well, maybe we can bring that up later and stuff like that. But let's just say that a girl brought them hands to our boy Tim. And you know what? I'd rather talk about, because that's an interesting conversation too, is talking about, like, respecting women and all that. 100% I'm about, I believe, like, in queenage, like, honestly believe, like, how people see the image of God being a man. I actually see it more so to actually be a woman. If you,
like, I don't believe in any deities, but if I was, it would make
it would be
more
a
sense
gender.
to be
It would
a
make
female.
more sense to me that, like, the image of actual God is actually more a woman. I would agree. I believe that, because it's like, I feel like a woman would make a man
the
an
earliest
opposite,
religions that we have record of all identify the deity as either being non-gender or female.
Yeah.
It's the male identified deities.
Yeah.
Is a later.
That's why, like,
development.
it's funny because I did a podcast interview with my boy Josh, or my cousin. I said my cousin. He's my first cousin, and he's in College Station. He's about to get his PhD in psychology, right? So it's kind of like a bit about mental health.
An Indian getting a PhD? Wow, that is, man. That
you didn't know? There we go.
Very noble for, Indians with PhDs. You never see it happening. It makes me feel proud that,
yeah.
somebody.
Oh, dude, he's deep,
finally finally.
He's
getting
deep,
that.
but we had a little like because we come up from a fairly religious family. It's a fairly Catholic, Christian Catholic.
My family I don't think anybody identifies me as being religious, but I have not come out to anybody in my family as being an atheist. Like
No.
I would not deny it to nobody, but like I've never like.
Oh, so you are an atheist?
Oh, I'm a like true like hard atheist.
Oh,
Like,
shit, okay.
I would not go as far to say that like I don't believe like gods don't exist, but like I in 45 years of life have not seen any evidence that would suggest that they do. So yeah, I identify as a hard atheist. Yeah.
And so it's like even talking into that retrospect, right? You know, it's so funny because I know that there's a large handful of like Christians that like feel uncomfortable, or it's like, you know, it's funny is like people, you ask somebody like what your religion is, and then you'll find differences, and then there are certain individuals that are having the conversation in a sense to convince you why they are right. That's where a lot of stuff that I have, you know, they're just preaching, and it's kind of like I didn't ask. I didn't ask questions.
I mean, but preaching doesn't to me like it. If you look at any holy book, like the whatever God that you want to question reveals himself to individuals in these holy books.
Yeah.
So like if that's the metric by they used, why would I be convinced by anything less? Like these stories in the Bible are not people convinced by mundane preachers and deacons and imam. No, it's people bestowed with power by God are convincing other people. It is logically sound for us not to be convinced by more normal mundane humans about God. Like these, like
that's why
we need the same level of evidence that these stories have.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it's just a matter of like where your faith resides, right?
But that's my point. It's like faith is in any holy book. It's not about faith in the holy. Like they're seeing these things. Mm-hmm. They're seeing people part, waters and heal this sick. That's not faith. That's witnessing these events with your own eyes. It's us, people living beyond these holy books, who have to have faith. That's not logical. It's logical for the people to see Jesus with holes in his hand after coming back. Like it makes sense to believe in resurrection when you see Jesus. It does not make sense to believe in Jesus' resurrection 2,000 years after the fact. That doesn't make any logical sense.
Mm-hmm. So essentially,
it's not denying Jesus' resurrection. It's being logically sound that I if it only happened once, sure, but like it. Other than that, I don't know that it can happen.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't I see Jesus to believe it?
So between science and religion. Science is going to always win, and I think that's funny because it's like I believe that there is something that it's somewhat going harder. Like they can go hand in hand very strongly, but fact of the matter is science is 100% within the driving living force of where we're in, and it affects us within what we
science
physically
is
see.
only the observation of reality.
Yeah,
that's
it's
all it
observation.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
And our understanding grows. So like nothing that we know today is just hard and it's just that's our current observation.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we may observe more information and change. And that's the thing is like it may be tomorrow that we find evidence of deities or whatever. And then that's a concession that, okay, then we have to change our understanding. But to draw hard lines in the sand when you don't have the evidence to do so that's where it's illogical.
Yeah, and you know what though? But like again, I guess it's like it's 100% to each their own, right? Like that's how you compute the awareness within yourself and what's in front of you and around you. And that's how you compute your awareness, right? And it's like
it may be the case that you have an actual relationship with the deity. I don't know that. I cannot say you don't.
Yeah, you just be like, all right, for sure.
I mean, I can't do anything about that. If you believe it strongly, I can agree that you believe it strongly. But your belief in a proclamation does not do anything for me if you can't demonstrate it. Mm-hmm. And I'm still logically sound not to believe a premise just because somebody else does.
Yeah. I mean, no, dude, it's straight facts, bro. So I mean, facts to the point where like it makes sense. It makes sense, you know. It's I'm a very visual person, but like, you know what? I will say that, you know, for me, I try not to talk about religion,
We have like
politics,
taken
or
left turns after left.
I know you do. Once you passionately go, I'm like, let me ride it. Let me ride it.
This is On Air Don't Care right now. This is literally how
you
we
keep
do.
pulling it back.
This
you
is
keep
On Air
pulling
Don't
it
Care
back
right now.
You keep pulling it back.
Because we do like this On Air. We will start with one subject and literally go on a tangent and be like, "How the fuck did we get here?"
That's what actually this episode is gonna be called. It's gonna be called Metro Icon episode
whatever number is On Air Don't Care. You don't gotta put Blue Label John on it or nothing.
No,
Just put On Air Don't Care.
BLJ is back, and is this called On Air Don't Care? That's what it's gonna be titled. Stamped. So it no subject. Is the episode called On Air Don't Care?
I think that should be the title. I don't
With a
think
question
you should say
mark.
Blue Label Johnny. I think you should just say On Air Don't Care.
BLJ.
No. I think you should just-
BLJ.
Usually where you put the name of the person, it should just say On Air Don't Care.
But here's the thing, bro. It's like this is where, man, I struggle so much with your whole branding game. John the Baptist, Blue Label Johnny, Jomon.
I mean, like, again, this is all part of like.
So you because it's like, and then you have your Instagram handle it's the bomb.
Yeah, so that mean like,
But
so,
it's also like titled John the Baptist.
yeah. So John the Baptist was my original in my entrance into entertainment as was slowly as a rapper was John the Baptist
So
based
you're
on my
Blue
real
Label Johnny
name.
now, formerly John the
So
Baptist.
I mean, like, and so like rappers just naturally have like and me and 80 Proof, my other guy did with it. He has more than I do. And so we used to start On Air Don't Care by going through our current handles. Like, be like, all right, it's 80 Proof Writer, the Nobleman, aka the Kid, aka we used to talk to everyone. And I'd be John the Baptist, aka Blue Label Johnny, aka Johnny Blue Label, aka Duke Dolo, aka Indian Elvis, aka you know what I'm saying, like whatever monitors we got, and then so like, and I mean like I'm always be John.
I
the Baptist.
definitely want to do that on Honor to Occur. Like we should start every episode with an AKA. We keep going back and forth so somebody doesn't have one.
And then well I mean like, we don't do go back and forth. We just do
Our own individual.
It's like because how I do it is I always introduce myself and blah 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 and be like and he is. And then and
you know what I want to. You know what
on
On Air Don't Care is going to be though. It's all reactive improv, right?
basically yeah.
It's so whichever case, let's have the games. You know what I mean? Because it's like that. You know, right there, like doing improv, and I preach this often. You know, and doing improv was the biggest game changer as me becoming a better MC. Me being just naturally better in social situations and presentations versus like emceeing, but like presentations, and just getting my brain to kind of be a little bit more bold, brave, and confident, but being an active listener to what's going on. And that was a big thing for me is being, when I did improv, you know, improv is like yes and that's the number one rule. And when you go into a scene, you can have an idea of what you want to do. Somebody sets the scene up in some way. You can't just do whatever you wanted to do. You have to say, yeah. And then just you build off to that, right? And so it'd be good. It's like otherwise it's just I feel like if you end up spewing like 27 AKAs, I'm gonna be like, all right, motherfucker.
Yeah,
but it'd be fun if you and I just kept going and we try to
that many,
but we just we try to break the other person. we break the other person with whatever
I mean,
AKA.
I think I'll win that until you bring up.
Want to do a practice round? Want to do a practice round right now?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, you ready? I'll start off. Here we go. I am Shawn Kay, aka the Do It All Showman.
I am John, aka John the Baptist.
Well, you know what they also call me, aka the Ice Cube Crusher.
AKA Duke Dolo.
Oh snap! They call me aka Keep the Fan On even during winter.
AKA the Prince of the Note.
Oh, snap. They call me, oh, man, the AKA of the is he wearing tap shoes on the stage?
They call me Ghetto Gandhi.
There we go. Oh, snap. You know what they call me? They call me AKA. I'm done. See, I'm done. Broke.
I haven't even these. Like I haven't created ones yet. I'm
You just go.
going off the ones that I have
This just been
self-identified.
stamped on the resume, cuz.
Like, if you want me to make them up, we can at least. But like, nah, I'm just using the ones that I literally have been using over the past 10 years.
I was just going in with this.
I agree with you on the improv, but it's like as stated, like most of the episode is improv. So what's good about the part about branding is creating those moments that happen organically or at least change over time that the audience can like, and like some of the best podcasts have like, they're no longer around anymore, but my dude's Deez Samero. And we didn't necessarily, because hell, I think we started before them, but they naturally created over a period of time, like it would be 5 minutes every episode of both of them going through their AKAs that they started growing and adding over a period of like a year and a half. Like me and him would basically only drop like 3 or 4, like, and even then like discard them and only use the ones we were like currently going with or was motivated by, current events and like, or watching an old movie and be like, oh shit, like I'm that nigga. So like then all of a sudden calling myself like, or one of us calling ourselves that, like lately that, like, like we would one time we watched Django and he was calling himself the white dude, the fucking the slave owner.
That Leo played.
My black friend was calling himself. But that's what I'm saying. Like so it wouldn't.
He was like branding himself that. Or this is just like between you guys socially just hanging out.
I'm talking about on the podcast. He would be.
Oh, on the podcast.
He was a weird dude. He would tell you he's pro-black, but you know what I'm saying, like, but depending on
Calvin Candy.
Calvin Candy. He would call himself. He would sell Calvin Candy. Dude, he's a wildcat.
No,
he was a wildcat.
But it's just, either way, I'll try and start developing my AKAs then for.
That's what I'm saying. It'll happen natural over time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You already got a couple. Shawn the Showman.
Shawn Kay the Smooth Serenader.
Yeah, there you go. Like you already got one. It always starts with one. You know what I'm saying?
That badass procrastinator.
Most people don't even have one AKA. You know what I'm saying? So
the stage time Terminator.
So there you go. You're already getting in the flow of it.
The brown anti-gator.
I don't know about that one. You may want to.
Yeah, I don't like alligators. I think that's anti-gator. How about that?
It still didn't have like a.
How about no?
Flow is not catchy. You know
it's rhymes. That's the best type of flow.
That's not the mitigator of being able to be flow or to have like being catchy just because it rhymes.
Shawn Kay, the musical mitigator.
That's better than the. Still not quite.
You want to know something funny? Mitigator has the word gator in it, so it's still anti-gator
it's a great
works.
Concession, but it's still not
works.
Great.
I don't like alligators. I don't like gators. I'm not even that great a fan of Florida people.
Where's the whiskey at, champ?
Oh, we need a refill? Should I pause on the recordings? We're going to take a pause, get a refill, and go back into this next hour if anyone's going to listen.
Yo, I got to take a second real quick to tell you about our sponsors that we have here for the Metro Icon podcast, starting with Insider Cloth. Now, Insider Cloth, y'all, is an innovative application to bring more clarity to all your everyday glass, screens, and professional lenses where you won't have to worry about forgetting that microfiber cloth to get the job done. Insider Cloth is an iron-pressed microfiber cloth to apply to any of your clothes or professional wear, which resides on the inside of your apparel. Now, your general fabrics can actually create micro abrasions to your glass surfaces, and over time, it actually will reduce the clarity and visibility to your glasses, cell phone, or other glass product or screens. It's super easy to apply and can be added on the inside of your common wear or even the specialty wear like your men's ties or pocket squares. Now, go to insidercloth.com and apply the promo code DIACloth. That's DIACLOTH CLOTH, to get 10% off your next order. And I promise you, y'all, Insider Cloth is the last microfiber cloth you will ever need. And now for all those homeowners out there, whether you need to get a new roof or you have a home restoration project you need to get done, y'all got to hit up my guy, Teddy Johnson of D&K Contracting. He is the most elite choice of all your commercial or residential contract needs. Teddy Johnson has been proudly serving DFW and providing all roofing style needs, as well as gutter and siding installation, custom metalwork, kitchen and bathroom remodels, fence building, window replacements, and so much more. And especially when dealing with those tedious insurance claims, Teddy Johnson provides the most outstanding quality of work and customer service you won't receive anywhere else. You got to email him now at teddyj.dkcontracting@gmail.com. Get a free consultation on your next home restoration project or home repair. And of course, y'all, you know I got to talk about my businesses. Do It All Entertainment. For anyone looking to amplify their next live event, whether it's a corporate event, conference, or that special wedding celebration with your loved ones. Do It All Entertainment brings the highest and most dynamic performance entertainment with top quality audio and visuals. There's literally no limit to what we can provide and can be accomplished at your next event. So visit us at doitallive.com or email us at info@doitallentertainment.com. Mention the Metro Icon Podcast to get a unique offer on your next event package. Then, of course, we have DIA Media for your go-to media production and creative consultation needs. If you're looking to amplify your business or brand visual promotions and trying to start a podcast of your own, reach out to DIA Media through our Facebook page and mention the Metro Icon Podcast to get a special offer on your production needs. Yo, now I gotta tell you about my number one spot in all of Fort Worth. This is the Library Bar FTW. It's the most unique bar and entertainment venue located in downtown Fort Worth, Texas. From its chic library ambience, multi-level beercade gaming space, you can find the most dynamic events and party atmosphere you will not find anywhere else. And it's always the spot you can catch me at. Check out the Library Bar at 611 Houston Street, right at the center of downtown Fort Worth, and get everything you could ever want on your night out.
You can't do it all, baby.
All right, we're taking a small break. Coming back to the Metro Icon Podcast, not On Air Don't Care.
Yes.
As much as this guy is trying so hard to make this damn podcast about what his shit is, I'm going back to talking. I love you, dude. No, I'm excited for On Air Don't Care because right now we're drinking some Evan Williams. Evan Williams, Honey Bourbon, you need to come on because you're going to be on Metro Icon, On Air Don't Care, which is live. And the nice thing is, I'm excited for the whole portion of it being at the bars, talking to actual people, and people sign up for slots, right?
I mean, I won't say if, because I will say if, because I'm not a person to just believe something's gonna happen just because I wanted to. But if and when, because here's the thing: is On Air Don't Care, and it's live, not live in location, but the live aspect of our show is what really
Took our viewership off was when people were able to ask questions. Then people were wanting to be So exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the very act of doing creates us the opportunity. But once people know we are somewhere and then want to come and be a part of the live experience is when it really feels great. You know what I'm saying? It's because that's the thing that's what was great about the live.
Because here's the thing is that people will sign up, right? They'll sign up, and then part of them signing up is that they're sharing the link, letting people know, hey, I'm about to be interviewed in the next 10 minutes. And then they're coming in, and they are then jumped on the episode, and we're doing a 10-minute segment with them, and we're going live, and then we are able to see the comments, and people can be watching, and maybe people even within their circle, I was saying her, I don't know, I feel like
it's fine.
always driving, I'm everybody, I'm Courtney.
It's very, very inclusive to all.
But yes, this is for everybody. You can tell your story. Especially for the one like Library Bar.
Pretty women do get preferential treatment. That's a blue Johnny staple.
That's not my rhetoric. I want to make that publicly known.
Specific.
Yeah, Blue Label Johnny is fine. BLJ is going to be looking all the way. All right, but I'm just going to publicly say I'm just going to be publicly say, as I am financed by a very, very strong, beautiful Latina woman, I'm just looking for content, and BLJ will be shooting for the girls.
I'm looking for content too, but
I'll be
however,
looking
as
for,
I stated, beautiful women do
I'll
get
be looking for the
preferential
guy who just moved here from Angola. Like, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those rare guys. I'm looking for the introverts. I'm going to be looking for those guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, to see if they want to come on and then ask those really,
I'll be happy for anybody. However, as I stated,
Vex.
pretty women get preferential treatment. That's all I'm saying.
In natural,
If
but
it's a guy
I won't be.
that just got it
I'm
from
not
Angola,
giving. I'm not giving any woman no
and
preferential
I
treatment.
am. If it's a guy from Angola and a pretty woman, the pretty woman's going 1st I'm just telling you, she's going first.
All right.
All I'm saying.
We got to bring them in somehow to be able to get people to hear about the guy from Angola, and that's what is big, because nobody knows about him. They don't know about Angola. They don't even know where Angola
and if he's standing
is.
next to a beautiful woman, no one ever will. That's all.
No, but he comes after him. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm already tied in."
We'll see.
You know, we'll see.
We'll talk about it.
Maybe the
'Cause
Angola
in the
guy.
time that she's doing her 10 minutes, another pretty woman may have come in, and again, he's getting bumped again for the next pretty woman. So I mean, like the guy from Angola.
Well, we can say that like you can go up to what's your max time. We can what's your max time,
True
you
that.
know? And but if it's whack, I'd be like, all right, we're gonna cut this short. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Honor don't care. We don't care what max time you chose, which is like, all right, so it's been real. You know what I'm saying? Like you get the we happen to interview that Nazi. We gonna have to cut that. We're gonna have to cut that. You know the world ain't dealing with that anti-Semitism anymore. You know, so we get that Nazi. We gotta have to cut that interview short.
I mean, nah,
And be like that last one.
Dude, no.
That last one was
Hell no.
interesting.
Hell no. I have all the questions in the world. If we
For the
forget-
Nazi?
Oh, dude, I would love to.
I will tell them. I'll be like, I'm gonna say because we're on air and don't care. I don't like you already.
I mean, like,
And you don't got to convince me otherwise. But tell me,
like that
answer
goes-
Johnny's questions.
Yeah, to me, it's not about like I'm not trying to get this guy to like me. I just I want to.
That's fair.
Ask questions to understand why you think the way.
That's
you
fair.
think.
That's fair. It's like the black man interviewing the KKK leader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a matter of understanding. I think I get that. I get that. I 100% get that. I think would be very much inclined to let them know how I feel about them. You know what I mean? I think that you would be saying an aggressive counterpoint and to a point where it'd just be like, yeah, I don't care what anything he just said. I just don't like you.
I mean, because here's my thing is like I've had so many, like I have lots of friends who are conservatives. And it's like, I don't just like them because of their views. I don't agree with their views.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, when I have serious conversations as to why, and especially about views that like aren't about finance, but more about like culture and things like that, it's like not ignorant as in, oh, you're stupid, but ignorance as lack of knowledge and understanding. I was like, the only way you feel the way you do is because you lack the understanding of the other point.
The capacity.
And it's like, if I just ask you questions, I can get through that. Because like so many conservatives, like especially that have these racist sentiments about, I'm like, okay, let's say what you feel about like minorities is true, is they're violent and crime-ridden and whatever like that. So then would you mind explaining to me why you think minimizing education to those type of people would result in them not behaving that way? Mm-hmm. And there's no answer. I'm like, right. So conservatives that want to minimize education in the inner city are contributing to the problem of it. Because
we're gonna get Abbott. We're gonna definitely get Abbott and Beto on Air Don't Care.
Oh God, I would love it. I would absolutely love. I would love to have Abbott. I would love.
And then I'm gonna come in and be like, what? And the politics. That's something else. That's how I come in because I have no knowledge whatsoever. But again, I try not to talk about politics, religion, it's not entertainment, and media. And
that's fine for Metro Icon Podcast.
Yeah.
But on I Don't Care. We
ain't gonna give a shit. Yeah, we ain't gonna give a shit. And so that's why it's kind of like, also, it's always gonna be people within. And that's what I love about it is that it's gonna have everybody. I don't have
everybody's welcome.
I don't have everybody on this show.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. What I love about because this is cultured content. Because like it's about like now it's basically whatever that you focus on entertainment. Or it could be anybody, but it's what you care. So that is not open to everybody. That is not like, and it is about like
what you want to discuss with the, like, I mean, generally, whoever you have on, probably there's some discourse priorhand of what you and them are going to discuss, if there's anything y'all want to discuss, et cetera, et cetera. But that's still limited to who you want to sit in this seat.
Right. Which, you're my first, outside of me doing the Metro Icon with my boy Too Bad, who's in New Orleans, and we even did a remote podcast one, throwing in a Zoom call. You're my first, second live sit down,
Right.
But again, bringing Johnny on ensures that he's able to have the right teammate to be able to execute it, and vice versa. And so, that pen coming through. Let me try that. This is how we call each other kissing cousins, here.
I don't necessarily co-sign that.
But he's Johnny Chadai.
We're not
Jomo
cousins.
Chadai.
We're not cousins, so it's fine.
But technically,
Maybe.
somehow,
We still, you know what? Like, you're going to meet my parents one day, they'll be like, oh, no, that's not a cousin. I'll be like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I knew it. I bloody
you're
fucking knew it.
Oh, you're from Chicago? Ah, yes. That's twice removed. We knew that already.
It's wonderful. No, it's gonna be. It always starts at the game with our Malayali family. Actually, do you know? And that's how it starts with that. You're from Chicago? Do you know?
But legitimately, there are people who I've called my cousin my whole life, and then in adulthood, I'm like, okay, so wait, hold on. So who? I'm like, man, that is calling that person a blood relative is a very liberal concept.
The Indian culture will call people family who aren't actually blood family. Yeah.
I have cousins who aren't.
He's like my nephew, but he's like his best friend's son.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this uncle, nephew, aunt relationships start with people who barely.
So I got one for you. Okay, tell me what this relation is. All right, it's my first cousin just moved here from Saudi Arabia. All right, so she's my dad's oldest, second oldest sister. Her daughter just moved here with her family. Right, so it's my first cousin. She's my first cousin.
Sure.
Okay, so my first cousin just moved here, and they're staying with my parents for now. They're about to move into a new place, but came with her husband and her son. Her son, I call him my nephew.
In South Indian culture, yes, that's
your
nephew. Yeah.
And it's funny because I've said that, and I had this one white dude and be like, "Well, actually, that's your second cousin first removed."
I mean, technically not even that because it's through marriage.
Or some shit.
Not even, it's barely that. But
no, she's my cousin. That's her son.
Yeah. So
you know what I'm saying? She brought her husband, but I'm related to her. That's her son. So it's my first cousin's son. That's my nephew, right? And some guy said,
but no, the white people. Yeah, he's right. It's
second cousin first remove or some shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'm just gonna ask you, white guy, what the fuck do you know about family?
I mean, because that thing is
what the fuck do you know about family?
In my family, I had very few first cousins. I have a few here, but very scattered. But when I would go to India, our understanding is those were my family implied to us. Those were my siblings as well as my brother.
Yeah.
So all my cousins, my nephew or not my. Because
you're looking at the same Chadai, Chechi, that's the respect. But when you're first cousins,
and
that's
their parents were my second mom and dad.
And then the second cousins are kind of like your first cousins, what most white Americans would treat their first cousins to be your
so not even
cousins.
that. Their kids are my nephew.
Because I'm close to a large handful of my second cousins. And then some of your third cousins, you white people know your second cousins, and you're like, you don't really give a fuck about it. You know what I mean?
But in Indian
it's
culture,
just a
it
cool
gets
fact.
hard to know.
When you happen to see them at that wedding,
I
and
mean,
shit.
my mom and dad are close to people on both sides of their relations.
That's exactly how my sister and her husband, right? He's moved into one family name, which is Makil, and we are related through a Makil side to him, but he's through a marriage and coming out and you know what I'm saying? It's so so in whichever case he has the same last name, but there's zero relation, And so it's it's interesting because, you know, when they did their wedding, it's like even though they had 720 people, at least some of them are mutual. Right. You know what I mean? Some of the relatives are mutual. Some of the company was mutual. But I mean, yeah, dude. So it's like, but you know, when this motherfucker tried to correct me on what my relation was to him, I'm like, bitch.
I mean, to me, it's all trivial anyway. Because I mean, like,
right? I guess
I mean, as a person, like, hell, at the very start of this.
But
podcast.
I guess I would take it in that's where my argument lies. Is like, you know, yo, bro, like my when it comes to numbers with my family, I got numbers. So don't you think that I might have a better understanding?
But no,
about
but like,
family
but
relations?
as we started this podcast talking about being family and blah blah blah, like I am closer to people I share no blood with, like my buddy from ONAIRDONTCARE who passed away, like nobody in life other than this one particular woman. From many years ago, like no other person probably knew me as well as he did. So like to me, like it's all individual. Like
yeah,
what
relative,
is like,
I guess, yeah.
like yeah, because just because you share blood with person, yeah, just because you share blood with somebody does not embellish how close you are to them.
Yeah, or any type of obligation either.
I mean, now to us, now
why do you think so many people win the lottery? So many people win the lottery and then they go in there anonymously.
Yeah, because they don't have to share it with everybody.
They're like, I don't want my family to know that I won the lottery.
Like, now, as South Indians, Malus especially, we do have a very close-knit network, and we do, like, and it's a privilege to how close, like, you know, like the support system of Asians in general. I wouldn't even just say South Asians, like Asians from India to China, like, they're a close network. So, like, if you need help, I mean, it's almost nothing for somebody to whatever.
The support system within your family is.
But I mean, and that's for us. There's a built-in expectation, but there really isn't. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Because as you will see from many other nationalities, like brothers, sisters, first cousins, like there is no like, you know, there's nothing implicit for them to offer help if they were struggling. You know what I'm saying? It's just like. Man, God, I got this $300,000 job, and you just need $5,000, and I got more than that in the bank. But nah, I don't think. Why would I give that to you? Like you're my brother, but I don't know why I would. I can't imagine why I would help you out with something that I wouldn't even miss. Like you'll figure it out. Don't worry, brother. God's got you.
I do believe.
God's got your back though.
And you would hope your atheist cousin is the one coming back with that. Salt on the God's got you. Oh yeah, the motherfucker you don't believe in? It's okay for
And to throw it back to the atheism part of it, I have been called, most people know I'm an atheist, and I have been called a better Christian than most Christians.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would say I've met some of the nicest atheists.
I do what I do because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm looking for favor from anybody watching over me.
No, it's true. I actually truly believe my struggle with religion is the judgment. And that's where my truest struggle is because I mean, like my only thing is like believe in what you want, just drive it to have you be a better person. But my thing is but have consciousness of yourself and your awareness and not go on.
But it's not even that, look, because here's the thing is if there is someone that is going to judge you and they have unlimited power, they've been the puppet master at the world at play. Everything that you have been, are doing, and will done is because of the manipulation that they've done around the world. If they're then going to judge you for things outside of your control, they're not worthy of worship anywhere. So I would say if
like beyond your control is one thing, but your choices, judging you for your choices, that's the biggest thing is.
Here's the thing is, say I have 10 of these little things right here in a row. Like, if I knock this one down and knock them all over, how much choice did the one that fell in the middle have? It didn't. And so if there's a God at play, he pushed the first one over. Yeah, you made choices, but you made choices in an environment outside of your control. He has unlimited. If he's a deity in control of everything, he can choose to not offer harm in your way. So for him to judge you for things based outside of your control, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, but then it's such a deep-rooted conversation.
It's not deep. It's because
look, I'm trying
to tell you, it's like if you are in control of everything, then why did you create these problems to begin with? We're not responsible for those things.
We can't be.
Okay, yeah.
Like, see, without a God.
But you're talking about
no.
yeah.
Now remove the God. You and I are absolutely responsible for our individual decisions.
Yes.
But if there is somebody else in control, sorry, we're not.
Okay, so your argument comes from, I think, that matter of fate.
No faith. I'm saying
fate.
Fate. No. It's I don't believe I don't believe in fate. I'm saying is like without a God, you and I are to every single action we do, we are responsible.
Do you believe in like construct? Then you're like your life was built with a specific...
No, I don't. No, I believe life exists because I mean, like, because if it didn't, then it wouldn't. Like, I don't have no explanation for why we're here.
Okay.
But like no matter what your faith.
Well, More, let me tell you.
No, but regardless of what your faith
I didn't tell you.
Is if we can hear one another, we agree that we're here. That's all.
Yeah.
Look, I offer you nothing more than I can demonstrate to you. But I don't believe there's anything external because I don't see it. So that means I feel each individual is responsible for their free will decisions because that we do have free will.
Yeah.
But when you start telling me that there's somebody else out there, then and that he knows everything, sees everything, has all ultimate control, well, then all of a sudden we don't have free will. You've created a scenario where free will does not exist.
You said that in such a rhythm that it almost could be a Christmas song. It's like, he knows everything, he sees everything. Like that's a church song. That's got to flow like I got the joy.
Because
Remember I got the joy?
Look, I'm not an atheist by lack of thought.
Right.
I'm an atheist because the concepts don't
Okay, hold on.
to me.
I get it. Regardless, it's like, to the deeper, I 100% get it. It's very much like, I keep things right here. I keep it right here, right? But you grew up with the culture and
I grew
hard.
First 21 years of my life, I was a believing Christian.
My question to you is, do you know I Got the Joy? That song.
I got the joy down in my heart. I got the joy.
No, where? Down in my heart.
It's been a long time. Where?
Yeah. Want to try it again? 1, 2, 3. I got the joy down in my heart.
Where? Down in my heart. Where?
Down in my heart. I got the that shit. So what you were saying, bro, like before that, it had that same type of flow.
And and because I was raised in the church, I'm sure that's in me.
It's probably,
you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, whichever case, it's like, you've lived enough of life to be able to make your own determination on what you believe is true. And again, for me, it's like, I guess I'm more like, let's just call it mystical to some sense of what atheism believes, that it's more mystical or like an energy or based of faith. Like I have to believe in it because I've seen it do wonderful things and actually, but I think it also produces like a mindset of being in a certain way of staying accountable, right? Like it's more, I think it maintains it. Well, so I'm just saying that, like, in a sense, like that's my respect that I give to, all my family members and all that. Even if it's a fucking Yakubite or whatever, Indian prayer or whatever it is, and it's all in Malayalam or Munglish or whatever it is, and I don't understand what's going on, like I'll give my respect to it. And it's like, and I guess let's say that I do it a lot for my family, that's what does it for them. I'm going to support that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, that's why I kind of know where I'm at. I'm not that religious of a person.
Yeah,
I do believe there is a God, but that's just my connection. I'm just defining that. I
have a lot of friends that had, like, my buddy from ONAIRDONTCARE, like, he didn't believe in any one specific denomination, but he believed in a higher power and, like, that was responsible for everything. He had, now, Jesus or Allah or
I definitely believe Jesus was a real dude. Because I think about this, like I listen to kind of some like transcendentalist podcasts, and like there's this one dude who does it with Rainn Wilson who played Dwight. I think it's called like Metaphysical Milkshake. But the guy that he like literally has a PhD in religion. He knows all religion. Like this man knows the history of all religion, right? And so he's broken down
like the actual like universal concepts of gods that's been from all these testaments, this is the actual commonality, and he kind of breaks that down a little bit, right? That's why I love like Buddhism. It's like one with everything. Then you heard of Baha'i?
No.
I talked about. So Baha'i is the only house of worship where all religions can pray in. So there is only like, I think 2 or 3 Baha'i temples in all of the United States. And there's like maybe 20 or 20 some in the entire world, which is not a lot, you know? So there's one that's near Chicago in Winnetka. There's a Baha'i temple in Chicago, and it's in Winnetka. And that's my favorite place to go, because that's the only house of worship that you can go to. And when you go in the places, this is an international landscape. This is not a national like landmark. This is an international landmark. It's connected by an international faith. It's the only house, though, that all religions can pray in. The only one, Baha'i, of coming together. I was like, yo, I believe in that 100%, because it's like, because you can't be a Hindu that goes into a Christian household or a Christian church.
I mean, no, Hindus.
You can go in, but you can't pray in it. You're like, you can't pray.
But Hindus have a very open relationship with all other religions.
I don't think you can. You can't go into a synagogue and
you understand how many
pray
Hindus
Christian.
I know
A Jewish person can't.
who have Jesus
they can come in
on their wall.
Nothing's stopping them from coming in.
But I'm talking about Hindus that have Jesus on their wall. Hindus actually have a very open
to the individual, right?
Not even to the individual. I mean, they don't stop their belief. I mean, they worship their topography, but they don't limit deities to just Hindu God. Like, they don't say that your Jesus and your God doesn't exist because they're Hindus. They're just saying they don't worship them. They're saying your Jesus and your God exists.
Oh yeah. They're Hindu Christians. Yeah.
No, they're not. It's not. I'm not talking about a belief. I'm just saying no Hindu is going to tell you that your God doesn't exist or Jesus isn't the son of that God. All Hindus do is worship their hierarchy. They have their set of gods that they worship.
Okay.
But Christianity is
but they also
a testament of Christianity says there
both
is
exist.
no other God.
Are you saying that they both exist?
They're going to tell you that if you have a belief in a God,
you're saying that there's Hindus that say that both exist.
No. Part of Hinduism is that they don't limit the existence of other gods. No part of Hinduism limits the existence of other gods. That's what I'm saying. No Hindu is ever going to tell you that your God doesn't exist. Maybe they will, but it's not inherent in their religion to tell you that there's no conversion in Hinduism. You can't go.
This is interesting.
Yeah,
I've never heard this.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing is so much about and again, I didn't know this about Hinduism at one time. We're Indian, and I mean most of my life I had no knowledge. I mean,
dude, it's regionally. When I went to go visit, last time I went to India, it was just before my 21st birthday, and that was the last time I went to Kerala. But we, as a family, we visited Agra. We stopped in Bombay.
Yeah.
And we've seen a little bit, maybe if there's a 6-hour layover or something, I
went when I was in my 20s, me and my cousin and my brother.
So you got
went
way.
Out
I had 14.
In Bombay at night. My family was pissed.
Yeah, but we also went to Agra, or we went to New Delhi. We went to Agra. We got to see the Taj.
I've been out there, yeah.
But that was the first time my parents, who were born in Kerala, have ever been there.
Oh, see, my
far north.
Dad, before he married my mom, used to work in Bombay. So he's from Kerala. He was born, raised, that whole nine.
Do you know where the family started from?
Now, my mom's family is from Tiruvalla. That's Kozhikode. They're close to Kozhikode.
Yeah.
My dad's family is not Trivandrum, but it's a small town not far from Trivandrum. I cannot think of the town my dad's from, but it's not far from Trivandrum.
Sure. I don't know.
It's not Thrissur.
I sometimes just throw towns that I know.
I mean,
I know that my dad is from Kodamangalam and my mom is from Kurupandra, which is close to Kottayam.
See, Kottayam's not far from where my mom's from. Kottayam's not far from Tiruvalla.
So maybe we are cousins.
We might be cousins. This is entirely possible.
As I say, we might be cousins, bro.
But my dad's so I think Kozhikode and Kottayam are further south, and I think my dad's from a more northern part of Carolina. If I'm thinking of the map correctly, which I very well could be wrong, but I know there's a bit of distance between where my dad's from and where my mom's from.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot more diversity, but man, it's just funny how to the deepest points of religion and politics that I try to stay out of.
Hey, but that's what you fuck around with me. That's what's gonna happen.
I mean, that's pretty much true. So either way, even though you might not see Blue Label Johnny ever again on the Metro Icon podcast,
You might hear me laughing in the background.
You might hear laughing in the background, but it was funny. I'm just also excited for those Metro Icon episodes where you are in the background and there are points that you just want to say something so bad and you're gonna be like,
no, I'm gonna look. I've been in entertainment for a long time. I know very well when to shut up, and especially when it's not about me. So I mean, like I can.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's
I can
a good
be like,
thing.
Are we done?
When
All right, look here, motherfucker. I got some shit I want to talk to you about.
I hope you all only say it to me.
Not you. I'm talking about like, are we done? Is the
I mean,
podcast
but
over?
you and I have been pretty 100 with each other, and I think even with I'm like looking for like On Air Don't Care for us being able to talk about like some of the anime shows I talked about, like talking about even shout out to.
No, I mean, like, here's the thing: is like I would love. So that's something I always thought about, but I would love to implement. Like at the end of the episode, of On Air Don't Care is like things to watch, things to talk about, like to suggest, like because especially when we're going live, like we need to have a way, things to connect to different people, suggest people, like create interaction.
I mean, but pop culture,
pop culture is part of what On Air Don't Care was about.
And a lot of times I don't know a lot about pop, like know so much into pop culture, like knowing, what, ultimately like is maybe the full details or what so many publications are saying about this subject, right?
But that's not what On Air Care's about. What you want to talk about.
I was gonna say like talking about like old school nostalgia, like old school like opinions, just whatever what we know about subjects. But like man, one time what I'm gonna say right now is which is gonna be a little bit more prorated since whenever this episode comes out, but. R.I.P. Jason David Frank, aka the Green and White Ranger.
Now I know.
I almost like think
what
it's
happened?
St. Austin, but St. Austin is the Red Ranger. Yeah.
But what
and
happened?
So I was like,
Did
wait,
he
well,
die of a drug overdose or something? Or
I don't know. They're saying it's an apparent suicide, but man, it's
suicide.
That's what they're saying is an apparent an apparent suicide. But again, man, it's like I'm getting so fed up a lot of times looking. I'm like, okay, let me find out the general information, and you'll see it on a continuity, and that's the only thing I can go off. Whether it's like some sort of media manipulation of whatever the truth is the only thing I can go off.
To me, if it is, that's crazy because
But it's sad, man. That dude, he was still doing Power Rangers.
And that's exactly what I was going to say is that if it's suicide, that's crazy because, not that I was following the dude heavily, but I did know that he was...
He was active, bro.
He was doing something. It wasn't Power Rangers because he didn't get the rights to it, but he was doing something
martial
Ranger.
Arts. He was real within the martial arts game because there
was some kind of production. He was trying to do a Ranger thing, but he found a workaround to just create a fictional property very much like his character, and I knew he was actively trying to get funding for that. So that to me, it's crazy if he did something to take his own life because that dude looked
he was
heavily motivated to getting that.
But he was also impactful because he did so much because he was so heavy in martial arts the real deal.
Because that's what he did
tours. He did tours of martial arts school. Like I have mad people in my feed that are posting pictures of them when they were like kids.
He's had a heavy life outside of Power Rangers.
Heavy, and this is like people from all over the country that I happen to know that have no affiliation to each other, and this dude showed up at all of their martial arts school, and there's pictures, and it's like whether they paid for it or not, he showed up.
No,
so it's kind of like
he's been doing con runs for years and years. And they pay for those pictures.
He was ganging, bro. Like he was young, 49.
Yeah,
that's a few years older than you, bro.
And he's been, dude. he's in great.
Fantastic.
Was, but
yeah,
like,
he looked fantastic. So
great
it's kind of
shape.
like I looked at that. I was
Did
like,
you see the? I forget the guy that it was a music video director. He just made his own fan Power Rangers short. And like it had a bunch of real
with
actors.
Ryu, but it was like with Ryu from Street Fighter.
No.
There was one where he played.
It had real actors in it, and then when it got to the White Ranger thing, it was
him. So he did so many of that because there was another short,
it was a
film,
fight,
but it was Street Fighter.
It was it was an internet fight video thing, like between the characters. Yeah.
But he showed up.
He was actually it.
The actual Green Ranger.
Yeah.
You know. And so it's like I never seen any of the other original Power Rangers did that. Like this dude,
because none of but that's the thing is only
Tommy was
only
something
him
else.
was in shape. Like the rest of the Red Ranger, that motherfucker.
So did you know
looks
that
like
he was
dead?
He was only I think supposed to be in 2 episodes, and then they
they expanded it. Yeah,
and then they expanded it because it was just like Tommy was everything, and then Kimberly went from Jason to Tommy. Because that was the real. It was like,
I think he's still salty to this day over there.
Oh yeah, because remember I was actually listening to his. He went on like a live video. It was like less than 2 minutes, but he talking about JDF's like departure, and he was like, "Yo, he was not a guy I grabbed a beer with."
Oh, that's what I didn't know. That was him. Speaking.
That was him.
Gotcha, yeah,
that was whatever Jason St. Austin, whatever. Yeah. And he was like, he was not a guy I grabbed a beer with, but he's like, he's still like, we came together, we came back and we did our thing, and it's like, you could sense that it's kind of like, like you can, in his position, he probably would a lot of times feel like, man, I was in the first like middle spot, lead character type of thing, and then this good-looking motherfucker comes in and not only oversees my like leadership role,
but like brings a whole new energy.
Brings
to
a whole new energies to the whole new franchise and the branch off franchises that was still Power Rangers but different version for the generation that is like they shifted like that's
they didn't bring him back for some of the other ones.
But they brought exactly. Yeah. He was still a Power Ranger for like 3 or 4 or 5 other ones,
Yeah.
And so, like, at that point, we're trying to get pussy. So it's like, we ain't watching that shit. You know what I mean? But either way, this dude. You see this dude, like, reoccurring. So it's kind of like, it's wild. Because, he built a very successful and impactful career. And there ain't really, like, he even did also, like professional fights show up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he also fought professionally. He would do like bouts and exhibitions and showcases.
That's pretty dope.
You know what I mean? It's like Tom Hardy's doing that now. He's been doing exhibition showcases and stuff. So like Tom Hardy was getting flack because he fought like a guy that was a little bit older than him. Like Tom in his 40s, young 40s.
Yeah,
but he fought a guy who was like maybe in his like early 50s or something.
Good for Tom Hardy. Maybe.
But the physical, you know what I'm saying? There comes a capping point in your physicality where like y'all are just in the range now. You know what I mean? Because the 32-year-old can compete against a 24-year-old. Don't mean the 24-year-old, but 32-year-old might be able to throw down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like again, it's like they're just in that range. And so that again, a 51-year-old can hold up against a 45-year-old, 54-year-old.
But hey, look at Mayweather. Mayweather, what is in his 40s?
He only doing exhibitions now.
Yeah, but I mean, he damn well could keep up with any fighter in any age class.
He's retired.
In his weight.
He's retired from professional boxing.
Yeah, but I'm saying is like any fighter in his weight class would still have.
But I think there's a cap point there. After that Logan Paul fight, there's definitely like a cap point of what he's willing to do. You know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you put Mayweather right now in the ring with any fighter in his weight class, that's in their 20s, 30s.
And age. Oh, no, 20s and 30s?
Still not going to beat Mayweather. There's not a fighter that can.
You better prove it. I'm skeptical.
I think he
But why would he would need to do it like the other fighters got to have enough clout and calamity for it to be worth it.
And guess what? There isn't. There ain't nobody.
Yes, there isn't.
All the fighters we're talking about in boxing these days are heavyweights.
Yeah.
There ain't nobody outside of Mayweather. Since he retired, there isn't a fighter in Mayweather's weight class that really is like keeping the conversation alive.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I mean, man, I will say to the realm of boxing, though, one thing I'm excited for is my fiance and her kids moving down here. Her son, 14, Emmy.
Yeah, we need to get him in MMA.
No, he's a professional boxer right now.
I mean, but MMA is where the money's at.
No, but you know what, man? I have a love and respect for boxing.
I know, but but exactly what we're talking about. The money is in MMA
Because it's too brutal. It's too brutal. I would be nervous.
The money ain't in boxing.
Huh?
The money
is in boxing, dude.
It ain't.
Within, especially the Mexican culture, 100% there is. 100%
The money that's in MMA is not in boxing. They do MMA
Dude, boxing
fights.
has been around.
The big money fights happen a few times in boxing. Happen a few times a year.
Anything outside of MMA,
every MMA event
is pretty much like even Bellator and MMA. Those are the only two things that I'm gonna take seriously. Otherwise, it's just pretty much like it's like pretty much backyard fighting.
But that's what I'm talking about. But they pretty much do UFC and Bellator events like every month, and they always make money. Big boxing
Quantity-wise, yes.
Big boxing fights happen 2 times, 3 times a year.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But I will say right now, as a boxer, this kid is mad gifted. I mean, he might get into it. You might get into it.
And guess what? There's a lot of MMA fighters that started out boxing.
Yeah, true. It's true. And he might shift. He might shift.
Like, you got a heavy hand. Shit, you don't got to go no groundwork.
Yeah, that's true. But, this kid is strong. And I think that he's going to find a way to become a champion as a type 1 diabetic. He's going to be the first. He has the possibilities of being first.
Does that keep you from being a good boxer?
There's nobody with the title that's been known facing type 1 diabetes.
That's my point. Is that something everybody knew, that none of the boxers were type 1 diabetics?
You have to get physicals. You have to get physicals and blood work done for.
I mean, but like you have to register, like you have to register yourself as a diabetic in your physical.
Like, I mean, it's known. It would be known if you have.
I know that's in your physical, but when you do sports event physicals, they're just testing you to make sure that they're not like testing you to see if you're a diabetic.
I mean, dude, if you're battling with that, I mean, because here's the thing.
Here's the thing is if you're aware of your
especially
diabetes,
with type 1, it's like if you're doing 10, 12 rounds or anything above 8 rounds, you don't have the natural physical ailment to be able to keep going endurance-wise physically. So it's like,
I think that depends on what you do to maintain your endurance.
Yeah, but I mean,
because you can medicate diabetes. So as long as you're
either way, I haven't seen any information on any.
That's what I'm saying. It may not be an issue.
I feel like it has to be classified. That's a physical thing. Like like it's like if you I don't know. I feel like it has to be classified
because I think when you do a physical, you're just testing. Like they have a set of standards that you need, because like if you don't meet blood pressure, you don't meet now if you are not maintaining your diabetes at the time of like they're doing the testing, you're not going to qualify to fight. But are we checking Muhammad Ali to see if he's got? No, I don't think they're testing anyone for diabetes. They're testing to make sure that your health.
I feel like that's
at the time of the fight is making sure that you can fight with your health.
But when you're talking about in the pop culture sense, I feel like that's information. When it comes to diet regimen, when it comes to regulating and how you go about it, like all that is being seen. That's information.
But it's just not being. It may be seen, but it's not being. It may just not be registered. I mean, like that may not be an issue of note for the weigh-in or the physical.
I don't know. I feel like man, there's especially
over the past years. I don't think that's an issue.
Over the past years, listen, bro. Over the past years, like there's always, especially with athletes, they're always willing to talk about what, like especially after achieving, they're willing to talk about the struggle of what they had to go through in the journey and process of going there.
And a lot of diabetes can be combated with just make sure you're maintaining the proper diet.
Yeah, but like to not be known is a different story. That would be known. Within pop culture history, especially within the last 30 years.
Again, lack of knowledge.
I looked though. I didn't find no information.
There's a lack of knowledge.
But my point is that with the champions that have had a belt in boxing,
and maybe they don't want to be known.
But that information would be out there, bro. We're living.
I don't know.
Live in a world. There's no way that information like that wouldn't
Maybe
even on
now,
a
today.
detailed. There's so much, especially you know more about a famous figure. You put those figures out.
Being
being a type 1 diabetic,
I may be wrong. I'm just saying I don't know.
I think you are. This is the one.
Because look, medical information is typically supposed to be
it's
classified.
supposed to be, but we don't live in that era in the last 20 years.
I mean, they have laws specifically against it.
Dude, no. Come on,
HIPAA
dude.
laws.
No, dude.
You're asking in serious
No,
trouble
dude,
for revealing.
through some sort of social form. Yo, listen, bro. You telling me through this is 100% loyalty on all forums.
I'm not saying all forums, but what I'm saying is
Bro, within your personal circle, no one's gonna leak it. That if you were a champion and he was facing or she was facing this ailment physically,
I'll be
and
honest,
they had to
I've never
monitor
even-
this throughout their training.
I've never even wondered or questioned
Bruh.
whether or not somebody was diabetic.
Bruh, you know what? You can take this episode and put this on Air Don't Care.
I'm
Yeah,
saying I've never
just
even questioned whether or not an athlete was diabetic till just today. Never even thought about it.
Then that's where it is. You never questioned it. But
Right,
as
that's
far
my
as
point,
that
is
information being out there, it would be available if you search for it. If you search for it, perhaps shut the fuck up. Shut up, dude.
This is a logical fallacy. You can't just say because
bro,
somebody's
we
got
live
their
in the
diabetic.
era of information. That being a type of Nick Jonas has been copying, literally making money being I think he's type 2 diabetic, or he might be type 1. I think but he is a classified diabetic. He made it, and he does.
That's a matter of him wanting to, and it doesn't. What does it care if an
But
if
a
singer or
publication,
entertainer is
what about a publication that's doing interviews and all that? You're telling me that information, not with one professional title-winning fighter.
What you're saying that it qualifies, that's a fallacy. It's it's still just because it should be known.
All right, then you know what? I haven't found the information. All right, then I haven't found the
exactly.
Then I haven't seen the information.
It doesn't mean that it's wrong. I'm just saying if the information isn't there, then you just don't have the information.
I feel like that in some way, shape, or form, it would be.
Is it very
projected.
Should it be? Sure, but that does not disqualify it from not being the case.
Talking like a goddamn atheist and shit.
That's the only way I know to talk, son.
Fucking just only
way I know to talk.
You can have love and respect for a quality atheist and stuff like that, but just know that certain arguments is just gonna go by the fallacy.
I mean, but that's the point. Is if you keep from doing that, then you it's hard to be wrong.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. So yes, okay. So then, in that sense, let me redirect how I describe that. To my knowledge, there is no.
There you go.
There is no prize-winning fighter.
There you go. See?
That
Boom.
has
No arguments.
There has been no recorded document to what I would have seen of any prize fighter, title-winning fighter with type 1 diabetes.
Boom. There you go. No logical fallacies.
There we go.
Magic.
We found the answer through conversation. And that's how dialogue is.
And there you go.
That's how
Through
dialogue
conversation.
is. So again, this was pretty much a Metro Icon platformed episode of On Air Don't Care.
There you go. There's the best way.
That's pretty much what it was.
There you go.
This is an On Air Don't Care episode. Metro Icon On Air Don't Care episode. I've been workshopping this camera probably stopped recording a while ago because yes, it's been double the time and I stopped because I got so fucking tied into your shit. So that's his job is in charge of the editing from now on. But either way,
no problem.
Blue Label John the Baptist, the one and only, is my dude and a partner that you'll be seeing a lot more of with me. That's pretty much this episode, is not only to establish the production side of what this podcast can do for us, but also for you, what it's going to be doing on multiple platforms, and the things that I'm going to be doing with this guy, because I enjoy it 100% of the time. I'll say that.
100.
Even when I don't agree with you.
And that's the beauty
But I love how we just came to that. I was like, then let me reword it.
Conversation.
It was through conversation, man. That was the conversation. So either way, man. Either way, I actually, you know how I close this podcast? I close it off with one word, one phrase, or anything that you want to leave off in the world before we go after this whole fucking tangent of random shit and your detail and full awareness and consciousness into your ultimate truth and all the information that came behind it. However you want to end this episode, that's all on BLJ.
If you don't remember nothing else, remember this. The streets won't love you like I do.
And
they never will. Go!
Yeah, there we go. That's how you do a callback, baby. Come on.
You could do it all.
You can't.
Do it all, baby.